Brothers killing brothers, sisters dissing each other. Children they'd split siblings, now missing each other. From secret societies, you removed all the covers. Abused cause some choose to be ID'd by color. Negro and black, or claim a fiction on the map. Thought power.
It may not be your fault, may be hacked.
Yep.
You know, because keep this in mind, and we were, while we were offline, we were just talking loosely, you know, as we do, and we were mentioning the issue of why the sudden break in communications, and because that's the foundation of the world's politics today, all of it. Whether it's discussed or not, foreign or domestic, it's still the foundation of the world's politics. And this is one of the reasons why many of the world governments that have U.S. corporate T-bonds within their treasuries are beginning to collapse. Because the issue of all their operations has to do with the hypothecated benefit of them holding a forfeitureship, trusteeship against the Moorish Empire, etc., i.e. our estate. And as the people begin to wake up, the world's government start getting rid of those bonds so they don't be charged with human trafficking. And of course, the public servants who have actually enslaved the people don't want to tell the people the real history of the Treaty of Verona, to which they took oaths to declare the popes of Rome gods of the earth, which is why U.S. corporate law is based in Canaanland law and not in allodial law as the Constitution was constructed. And this is why you see all the U.S. corporate politicians have an absolute and vile and repugnant attitude towards republic. Are we clear?
Islam.
Because they've taken an oath to Rome, even though they've taken an oath to force the Republican form of government as expressed in Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution for the United States of North America, of which Canada is a corporate body registered in Delaware. Are we clear?
Yes, oh, yeah.
Even though they imply to be separate, they're all European colonists, keep it in mind. And none of this is theirs. They hypothecate the properties of others, and by virtue of that hypothecation, they build deeds of trust, whether it's mortgages, birth certificates, marriage licenses, driver's licenses, etc., etc., etc. And upon these instruments, they create deeds of trust and create escrow accounts and create these instruments that they sell around the world to governments with a promise that the slave would pay the interest on it. And that's what their bondage is all around the world, even though they have different names for the bonds. And as the people begin to wake up and start speaking up, keep in mind that it's difficult for a FOFR or trustee to maintain authority, or what you would call supervisional claim of an estate, when the heir of the estate is demonstrating some competence. This is another reason why the Europeans are sore afraid and sore disturbed that Moors around the country and on the islands and on the continent across the north, the south, the central of America, etc., are starting to throw out writs and declaring their right to self-determination and a right to the inherited estate. And thus, nations of the earth recognize that they cannot validly trade these instruments because they're dead toxic paper. At the same time, they cannot admit to their citizens the origin of these instruments under the Treaty of Verona. See the problem?
Islam.
And of course, even people who know, including some grand chiefs in the Moorish science temples of America around the country, won't even talk about this area because many of them have been compromised. Are we clear?
Islam.
So when we see the appearances sometimes of divisions, understand that those appearances has more to do with the agendas of the persons than it does with the facts. Meaning just because someone knows the truth don't mean they're going to stand for it. Get the point?
Yeah. Islam.
That's called the great sellout, isn't it?
Islam.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to read, and most of you have the treaty book, right?
Islam.
That one, right?
No.
No.
Send us a few copies.
You don't have the revised treaty book?
No, we don't.
No, we
not
don't.
yet.
All right. Now, you know, for years we've been telling people, you know, to take the treaty, because we used to, for years, we give the treaty book and the Constitution book, and they would be separate, and we would tell them to staple them together so their concepts will be corrected. And of course, as over a period of time, you've had people on both of our side of the nation and on the European side of the corporate entity trying to dissuade, misdirect, or to discourage the people of observing those obligations and those facts, political realities. And therefore, I took the treaty book and the Constitution book and binded them together and put enough side note in it to prove to anyone, any scholar, any proponent, or anyone who tried to dismiss it, to tie them together absolutely and in fact. Are we clear?
Islam.
And therefore, that's why this one exists. We did this, what, a year ago or something, Rob?
No, we just did it a few months ago.
No, it's been more than that.
No, it hasn't.
Anyway, that's what that's for. But, and we included within it directly from the documents of the Congress and the United States government records, the issue on citizenship of the United States and expatriation, etc. And we found that necessary because many Moorish Americans with less than honorable intentions trying to make a living off of our people in order for them to buy things from them to dissolve a citizenship that never existed with them. Are we clear?
Islam.
And therefore, we put some of the records in the book as they come right from the congressional records and actually from the law books. Are we clear?
Islam.
I'm going to read to you as follows. Citizenship of the United States, expatriation, comma, etc. And this is page 459 and chapter 4, temporary provisions, Morocco. Mr. Philip D. Charge of Affairs, Mr. Root, Secretary of State, August the 3rd, 1906. Sir, there are strictly speaking no Moroccan laws relating to citizenship of Moorish subjects in Morocco. And the fundamental laws of this non-Christian country are based entirely upon the Islamic code, and no part of which treats of the subject of citizenship. Now, page 460, citizenship of the United States, expatriation, etc. Now, there are, however, numerous treaties and conventions between the various Christian countries and the Moorish Empire by means of which citizenship in this country is defined. But as I understand from the above acknowledged instructions, that it is not the desire of the department to call for a report on such lines. And I will therefore confine these remarks to general conditions existing which may possibly be of some use in connection with the information desired. Number one, citizenship in Morocco may be said to be governed by the laws pertaining to the same in other countries, with the exception that all persons residing in Morocco who cannot prove foreign citizenship or protection are considered ipso jure as Moorish subjects. Everybody understood what God just said? I'm going to repeat it. Number one, citizenship in Morocco may be said to be governed by the laws pertaining to the same in other countries, with the exception that all persons residing in Morocco who cannot prove foreign citizenship or protection are considered ipso jure as Moorish subjects. Does everyone know what ipso jure means?
Fact.
I didn't hear anything.
That's a fact.
Ipso jure means as it stands in law. Are we clear?
Islam.
Which means these people are Moors even if they didn't have paperwork. And if there was anything else, they would be compelled by law to prove it. Now, number 2 and 3, Moorish subjects lost their nationality only by becoming naturalized in or protected by another country having treaty relations with the Moorish Empire. Are we clear?
Islam.
That means Moors lose their nationality if they naturalize, don't they?
Yes.
Now you see why Noble probably declared nationalization, distinguished from naturalization? Because naturalization makes you a foreigner in your own land. You see the point?
Yes.
So everybody must be clear that so that they're not taken for a ride by any charlatans on the European side that are trying to distract the people by misrepresenting this information. That information comes directly from United States law. See the point? How come that information is not taught to the people? You don't have to answer that because we all know, don't we?
Yes.
I'm going to continue. Now, and it was established by the Convention of Madrid, concluded July the 3rd, 1880, as follows. Article 15, any subject of Morocco who has been naturalized in a foreign country, and you understand foreign means jurisdiction, not necessarily distance, and who shall return to Morocco shall, after having remained for a length of time equal to that which shall have been regularly necessary for him to obtain such naturalization, choose between entire submission to the laws of the empire and the obligation to quit Morocco unless it shall be proved that his naturalization in a foreign country was obtained with the consent of the government of Morocco, which means they can't even naturalize without the consent of government. You see the point?
Islam.
So can this fakery of the 14th Amendment naturalization be valid?
No.
Exactly. You see how simple that is?
Yes.
And yet people would perpetrate the fraud that people have to buy some package, don't they?
Yes.
Now, Noble Drawley says, I brought your title, I brought your name, nationality back to you, and the title to your lost estate. He says, what else do you want me to do, kill you? You see the point?
Yes.
In other words, it's already established in law. They can't take something that is an inherited birthright and convert it into some commercial venue of sale, unless they are maintaining what you call forced servitude or slave trade. You see the point?
Islam.
All right, I just want to make that clear so that we can make it clear to the family who may not be aware, and I know that most of you are aware because most of you all study, but it has more to do with message to those who the brothers or sisters may be making informed of their nationality and birthright so that they're not confused about what's really going on here and in the politics of the world. And again, furthermore, yes, and naturalization, furthermore, in the law, naturalization, this is distinguished from nationalization. Are we clear?
Islam.
Naturalization is the act by which an alien is made a citizen of the United States of America. And the act of adopting a foreigner and clothing him with all the privileges of a native-born, and that's emphasized, citizen, and then it gives you law case. So a naturalized person, it operates only in privilege, don't they?
Islam.
So a naturalized person can't have a birthright, can they?
No.
Can they?
No.
No.
All right. Now, the nation or sovereign who represents it may grant to a stranger, quote unquote, the quality of citizen by admitting him into the body of the political society. And that process is called naturalization. Then it gives you law case. Are we clear?
Islam.
Yes, that's from Bouvier's Law Dictionary. And so therefore, if Moors are not aware of this, and if their information as is given to them is misrepresented in the way it is dispensed, they have a concept, they have often a, how to say, you'll see the dynamics of them being confused about group division.